made the protagonist. Definitely. And one remarkable fact about this emperor was his excessive concern for the Hindu masses. Hindu masses were given exemption from jizya tax. Hindu masses were, taken special care for their protection and for their well-to-do, so that nobody can blame Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq as pro-Muslim and anti-Hindu emperor. Now, this fact is highlighted to convey an idea of equal concern of Honorable Nehruji for the Muslim masses, because the partition of India witnessed many sad incidents of massacre at a very high level. Thousands of people who migrated from India to Pakistan or Pakistan to India, they were cut off, they were killed unfortunately, and there was a kind of bitterness left behind. And that's why Nehruji had that noble aim to see that Muslim community is well protected in free India. That concern, this is how Girish Karnad makes it relevant. That great concern, that noble concern of Nehruji is highlighted by Girish Karnad in Tughlaq. He has made Tughlaq, the emperor, if we can see, a symbol of how Nehruji had his concern for the minority, so that minority may not suffer, as Tughlaq had that concern in the history for Hindu masses, that no Hindu should feel that he has been done injustice because of the Mughal emperor. This is the truth. This is how he tries to, Girish Karnad has tried to make it relevant to the contemporary times. I mean those days of 60s, mid-60s I would like to say. Now, the theme of exchange and mistaken identity, which we find in this particular play, that is in the form of one Muslim saint who has his dislike for Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and that is simply because Tughlaq takes excessive care of Hindu masses. One Muslim saint whose name is Sheikh Imamuddin. Sheikh Imamuddin gives his lectures, he addresses to the masses in order to instigate them against Muhammad bin Tughlaq, saying that here is a sultan who has his excessive sympathy for Hindus, and that's why Muslims have no future in India. Now here, Muhammad bin Tughlaq knew this, but he wants to show his respect for that saint, and at the same time he wants to control that saint, and so he tries to kill two birds with a single stone, and that has been done by Girish Karnad introducing a technique of the mistaken identity and personality. There is one man, Ain-ul-Mulk, and Ain-ul-Mulk is against Sultan, who was formerly a follower but now against, and that's why he has proved to be a major threat to Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He wants to control Ain-ul-Mulk, at the same time Sheikh Imamuddin, and at one stage Hazrat Sheikh Imamuddin, whose facial features exactly resemble the features of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, is attacked by Ain-ul-Mulk, who mistakes Sheikh Imamuddin for, we can say, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and in an ambush Sheikh Imamuddin is killed by Ain-ul-Mulk. That controls forever the situation for Muhammad bin Tughlaq, one who used to address to the people and raise a voice against Muhammad bin Tughlaq is removed from the path, and Ain-ul-Mulk has forever fallen from the eyes of the people because he has been proved guilty of killing a holy saint like Sheikh Imamuddin. It was a technique of mistaken identity simply because Sheikh Imamuddin was mistaken for Muhammad bin Tughlaq. This happened. This is the first play in which we find this kind of technique used or introduced by Girish Karnad. And here, after reading the play, generally people say that he was a mad sultan, but the reading of the play proves that he was the first ruler in our country, in our nation, in Bharatvarsh, who was secular in a real sense of the term. He was the man who gave an idea that a ruler can be secular, could be impartial, and he can rule having equal concern for the masses of all the classes, all the religions, and all the communities. This is how the personality and image of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the historical emperor, has been raised in the eyes of the readers by Girish Karnad. The second play on the basis of which I would like to highlight some aspects of Girish Karnad as a playwright, that is, I would like to say, Hai Vadan. Hai Vadan, its subject matter has been picked up from Sanskrit collection of short stories, that is Katha Sarit Sagar. Of course, Thomas Mann wrote one story, one work with a title The Transposed Heads, but the original source of Hai Vadan is Katha Sarit Sagar. From that, Thomas Mann wrote The Transposed Head, and on the basis of these two sources, one is the original Katha Sarit Sagar and the other is The Transposed Heads, Girish Karnad composed Hai Vadan, in which once again we can say that the technique of mistaken identity and exchange is used, heads getting exchanged, leading to the problem of identity. The problem of identity was there even in Tughlaq, as Ain-ul-Mulk was mistaken in judging that here is not real Sultan but Sheikh Imamuddin, and instead of killing Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he killed Sheikh Imamuddin. The same way here we find mistaken identity and the problem of identity. It is a play which raises the basic issue of who am I, and is perfection possible for a living human being? This eternal question, who am I, and can I become a perfect human being? Everybody is in search of perfection. One wants perfection in personality, one wants perfection in even happiness. Of course, it has been already highlighted by Dr. Samuel Johnson in Rasselas also, that perfection is not possible. No man can have, no living human being can have perfection or perfect happiness.
Definitely.
The same way, here in case of Girish Karnad's play Hai Vadana, we find that truth is highlighted. Man's search for perfection and man's search to find out, to know who he himself is or who she herself is. Question of identity. Who am I? That is the prime concern here. Now this question is here dealt with through three characters. We have two friends, Devdatta and Kapila. Devdatta is a man of intellect, physically delicate, not well built, but all given to intellect. He is a brilliant man, a scholar you can say, who can think, who can contemplate, who can write and read. Whereas his friend Kapila is a man of bodily strength, powerful in body, but he is the son of Luhar. A blacksmith,
Lohita.
you can say.
Lohita.
Lohita. Luhar
His
is blacksmith.
father's name is Lohita.
Yeah, he's well built physically, but intellectually he is not at par with his fast friend Devdatta. Both are friends, and they know one girl. That is, you can say, her name is Padmini. Padmini is a girl who is given in a marriage to intellectual friend of Kapila, whose name is Devdatta, who is a man of intellect but physically not a stout and sturdy person. Padmini, after becoming his wife, because of the friendship between Devdatta and Kapila, is, attracted to Devdatta's friend Kapila. And you can say that it becomes a love triangle where we find one lady, wife of Devdatta, but now attracted by our Kapila, and she finds herself tangled between two human beings. Naturally, it leads to a rift, a kind of rivalry between the two friends. They forget that Girish Karnad has written one line here: one mind, one body. One mind, one body. That was the friendship between the two. That is, you can say, two friends they were, but one mind, one body. But unfortunately, their relationship, both become enemies of each other, willing to kill each other for the sake of Padmini, wife of one and beloved of the other. And at a particular stage in the play, when the combat takes place between the two, both behead each other, and Padmini is at a complete loss. It happens in a cave where there is an idol of goddess Kali. It is the temple of goddess Kali, and she prays to the goddess, and goddess is pleased and says, close your eyes and put their heads on their body, and once again they will get back their life. But remember, Padmini has to do this after closing the eyes, and the grand mistake takes place. She puts head of Devdatta on the body of Kapila and the head of Kapila on the body of Devdatta, and both get back their life. And now the problem for her is whom she should consider her real husband. Should she choose Kapila's body with Devdatta's head, or Devdatta's body with Kapila's head? But then our Indian culture says that a man is known on the basis of his thoughts, his deeds, and thoughts and deeds, they first emerge in the mind of a man. So, following this predicament, she accepts Kapila's body with Devdatta's head as her husband, thinking that now she has achieved a perfect husband who has got the stout body of Kapila and intellect of Devdatta. But this idea of Padmini proves to be temporary, transitory, and she is very soon disillusioned when mind starts affecting body. Since Kapila's body has the head of Devdatta, which is given to intellect, slowly and gradually Kapila loses whatever strength, his body, the strength that he had, he starts losing that strength, and he becomes a sober, delicate human being because of the influence of head on body. And once again, she experiences herself at a complete loss. Her condition is once again the same as it was in the past. Once again, the same drawback, the same problem is faced by her. She realizes that simply it is not possible for one to expect perfection, to relish a dream for perfection is to relish an illusion which can never come true. Because even after the exchange of the heads, her problem remains the same. Here we find in this particular play mistaken identity and the technique of the exchange of heads introduced by Girish Karnad, leading to the problem of identity. Of course, we have the subplot of the head of a man with the head of a horse, Hayavadana. That is the basic issue. But after that, Girish Karnad deals with this tale of Padmini, Devdatta and Kapila. So this is the second play where we find the problem of identity introduced by Girish Karnad. The third play which I would like to deal with is Taledand. Because from history we switched over to Katha Sarit Sagar. From Katha Sarit Sagar, let us once again switch over to history. One more play written by Girish Karnad which is absolutely based on history of India, history of the city of Kalyan, that is Taledand, Shirached. Now, Girish Karnad mentions in the very opening of the play that he got the idea to write this play when two issues were at its climax. They were going on in our country, and every Indian used to discuss about it. It had created a wave of sensation in those days. Mandir Masjid issue. I am talking about Ram Janmabhoomi and Babri Masjid. Mandir Masjid issue. And the other was Mandal Panch issue. Mandal Commission, yes, Mandal, as it was implemented by Honorable former Prime Minister VP Singh Sahib. So these two issues, when they were at the climax,